This is an iHeart podcast.
You know who it is, Brandon Kyle Goodman. But this Pride Month, call me Messy Mother. On my podcast, Tell Me Something Messy, I'm diving into all the juicy stories and sizzling hot tea that'll make you want to live your life liberated and free. Nothing is off the table for our messy kikis. Plus, I'll be joined by star-studded guests like T.S. Madison and dragging messy stories out of guests like the one and only Katya. Ooh, I can't wait to get messy with you. Listen to Tell Me Something Messy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Show me how good it can get today, God, and show the rest of the world what we already know. It can't get no better than being hella black, hella queer, and hella Christian. My name is Joseph Reeves. I am the creator and host of Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian, a fully black, fully queer, fully human, fully divine podcast from iHeartMedia. To Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Why is a soap opera western like Yellowstone so wildly successful? The American West with Dan Flores is the latest show from the Meat Eater Podcast Network. So join me starting Tuesday, May 6th, where we'll delve into stories of the West and come to understand how it helps inform the ways in which we experience the region today.
Listen to The American West with Dan Flores on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The OGs of Uncensored Motherhood are back and badder than ever.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Mila.
And we're the hosts of the Good Moms Bad Choices podcast, brought to you by the Black Effect Podcast Network every Wednesday.
Yeah, we're moms, but not your mommy.
Historically, men talk too much.
And women have quietly listened.
And all that stops here.
If you like witty women, then this is your tribe. Listen to the Good Moms Bad Choices podcast
every Wednesday
on the Black Effect Podcast Network, the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you go to find your podcast.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is coming back to Las Vegas. September 19th and 20th.
On your feet!
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bryan Adams, Ed Sheeran, Fade, Glorilla, Jelly Roll, Sean Fogerty, Lil Wayne, LL Cool J, Mariah Carey, Maroon 5, Sammy Hagar, Tate McRae, The Offspring, Tim McGraw. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today. AXS.com.
It is time now for today's Strawberry Letter. And if you need advice on relationships, on dating, work, sex, parenting, and more, please submit your Strawberry Letter to steveharveyfm.com and click Submit Strawberry Letter. We could be reading your letter live on the air, just like we're going to read this one right here, right now. And you never know, it could be yours.
It could be yours. Buckle up and hold on tight. We got it for you. Here it is. Strawberry Letter.
All right, nephew, thank you. Subject, being healthy doesn't work for everybody. Dear Steve and Shirley, late last year, my husband and I decided to get in better physical and spiritual shape. He got baptized and I fully supported him. We became pescatarians and it helped him lose 14 pounds so far. Pescatarians, you eat only fish.
Right.
You eat vegetables and all that other stuff, but yeah, your meat is fish. I am petite and I have never had a problem with my weight, but I do love making healthier food choices. I think my husband takes everything too far, though. He has removed things from his life that he needs, like the skincare he used last year. It's a must for him because he has hair bumps. Now he uses a homemade salve that doesn't work at all to exfoliate his skin. He's also been using an all-natural deodorant, and that doesn't work on his body. He needs all of the aluminum and other bad stuff that was in his old deodorant before because it worked. We work out together, so it's hard riding back home in the car with him since he switched his deodorants. He does most of the cooking and he switched to salt-free seasonings and he uses a lot of garlic for everything. If I offer to cook, he stands over me and tells me how to season the food. Our intimacy has changed too. He doesn't want me on birth control because it's not natural. The method he's chosen to use is not foolproof, and I'm always paranoid that I'll get pregnant. We've made it clear that we don't want kids, so he's playing a dangerous game. After 6 years of marriage, I'm still not comfortable telling him that he smells bad and that his cooking is bland. I need him to get his skin together as well. Don't get me wrong, being healthy is ideal, but he needs to tweak some things. How do I tell him that? Yes, you are right. Being healthy is ideal. That's what we all strive for, being in our best health. But yeah, you need to tweak a lot of things, and you just got to tell him. I mean, there's no way around this. You have to tell him that he smells bad. You have to. Don't crush him with it, though. I mean, you just got to find a kind way, if there is one, to tell him. I mean, is there a nice way to tell someone that they stink? Do your research. Find some other deodorants for him. I mean, look into some more skin products. You got to do this for him. You got to buy them. You got to ask him to try the new ones, and then get some tastier seasonings. You got to put some salt on your food. That's what brings the flavor out. And what do you mean he stands over you while you're cooking? Just ask him to have a seat and tell him you got this. And why, after 6 years, are you uncomfortable still to tell your husband things? You got up the courage to write us. And it's going to take that same boldness to let him know how you feel. I just say, don't crush him. Be nice about it. Start and end with some sort of compliment, like, honey, you look good. I'm proud of you. Then hit him with I found these products. They may work better for you because the ones you're using aren't doing the job. They are not working. And then I like the other skin products you use because the skin is soft. Your skin is soft and smooth with no hair bumps. But you gotta, mix it in. You gotta tell them nicely, all right? Don't just blast them out. The key is how you say it, not what you say. And I think you can do this, sis, but why are you scared to talk to your husband after 6 years? You say he's playing a dangerous game with the birth control situation? No, you're playing a dangerous game. It's your body. And if you guys have decided not to have kids, you guys gotta work on this. Tommy?
In the words of a gentleman in my grandmother's neighborhood when I was growing up, Books and Bibles was his name. And Books and Bibles used to roll up and say, man, it's a low down and funky deal. Never knew what that meant, but we called him Books and Bibles, and as soon as he come up on you, he'd be, man, it's a low down and funky deal. This is a low down and funky deal, because you got a situation now. Your man stink. I'm smelling this through the letter. The letter stink. Now, y'all don't smell all this? All this stink. And I'm probably while y'all cooking in the kitchen, he stank. When y'all in the bedroom, he stank. When y'all at the gym, he stank. And if y'all bring a baby in this world, the baby gonna stink. Everything. This stinks. This just stinks right here. We got to figure out how to get some deodorant up under his arm. And listen, while he sleep, I'm just saying this. While he sleep, I think you should get that old white jar with that red top, that Tussie deodorant, and just paste it up under his arm so he can start smelling a little bit better. This right here is bad. So you gotta have that conversation. It's time to have the conversation.
Yeah. She's scared.
But this not your boyfriend. It's not somebody you dating. This is your husband. This is the person you laying next to every night. This is your man. So you got to be y'all got to be close enough to be able to say, baby, we got to sit down and have this talk. Baby, you stink. You stink. Matter of fact, when he start coming in the house, start playing stuff like When the Funk Hit the Fan and the People Want. Come on, play that. Make my funk the P-Funk. I wants to get funked up. You got to start playing stuff he can relate to and understand. Brother, you funky. It's a low down and funky deal, and that's where you are, man. It's a low down and funky deal. We got to get your husband some deodorant. We got to get, I don't know what we got to do with these. He breaking out. I don't know what we're going to do about his eczema. We got to figure that part out too. But
eczema?
That's what he got, Shirley. That's what it is. That's what that is.
All right,
I know it when I hear it. That's eczema.
Hang on. We'll have part 2 of our response to today's Strawberry Letter at 23 minutes after the hour.
The funk hit the
right after this.
The people want to say, come on, get with me.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You know who it is, Brandon Kyle Goodman. But this Pride Month, call me Messy Mother. On my podcast, Tell Me Something Messy, I'm diving into all the juicy stories and sizzling hot tea that'll make you want to live your life liberated and free. Nothing is off the table for our messy kikis, be it cringy dates, best sex practices, family drama, or cultivating self-love. Plus, I'll be joined by star-studded guests like T.S. Madison.
How can we not judge ourselves?
You just gotta tell yourself, like, girl, how old are you, bitch? And I love me a lot because
you do.
Bitch, I love these motherfucking back rolls. What are this? Back rolls.
Back rolls.
And dragging messy stories out of guests like the one and only Katya.
I also got into the habit of wearing butt plugs to the gym.
Tell me about that.
Well, and I also work out with butt plugs in quite a bit because, like,
tell me everything.
Well, it's just first, it feels good.
Yes.
And then second, it's like my little secret.
TMI, please tell me more. Every week we'll create a compassionate space to share the fullness of who we are. Ooh, I can't wait to get messy with you. Listen to Tell Me Something Messy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Show me how good it can get today, God, and show the rest of the world what we already know. It can't get no better than being hella black, hella queer, and hella Christian. My name is Joseph Reeves. I am the creator and host of Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian, a fully black, fully queer, fully human, fully divine podcast that explores society, culture, and the intersections of faith and identity. Listen to Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian to hear conversations about what it means to sound the way you look.
I think what I've had to make peace with is that every iteration of my voice is given to me by God, and I love it.
Books that validated our identity.
The library now for me is a safe space as someone who is writing books that they're trying to take off of shelves.
And how we, as black queer folks, relate to our Christianity. Listen to Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The American West with Dan Flores is the latest show from the Meat Eater Podcast Network, hosted by me, writer and historian Dan Flores, and brought to you by Velvet Buck. This podcast looks at a West available nowhere else. Each episode, I'll be diving into some of the lesser-known histories of the West. I'll then be joined in conversation by guests such as Western historian Dr. Randall Williams and best-selling author and Meat Eater founder Stephen Ranella.
I'll correct my kids now and then where they'll say when cave people were here. And I'll say, it seems like the Ice Age people that were here didn't have a real affinity for caves. You know?
So join me starting Tuesday, May 6th, where we'll delve into stories of the West and come to understand how it helps inform the ways in which we experience the region today.
Listen to The American West with Dan Flores on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The OGs of Uncensored Motherhood are back and badder than ever.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Mila.
And we're the hosts of the Good Moms, Bad Choices podcast, brought to you by the Black Effect Podcast Network every Wednesday. Historically, men talk too much.
And women have quietly listened.
And all that stops here.
If you like witty women, then this is your tribe.
With guests like Corinne Steffens.
I've never seen so many women protect predatory men. And then Me Too happened. And then everybody else want to get pissed off because the white said it was okay.
Problem.
My oldest daughter, her first day in 9th grade, and I called to ask how I was doing. She was like, "Oh, Dad, all they were doing was talking about your thing in class. I ruined my baby's first day of high school."
And Slumflower.
What turns me on is when a man sends me money. Like, I feel the moisture between my legs when a man sends me money. I'm like, oh my God, it's go time. You actually sent it?
Listen to the Good Moms, Bad Choices podcast
every Wednesday
on the Black Effect Podcast Network, the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you go to find your podcast.
What happens when we come face to face with death?
My truck was blown up by a 20-pound anti-tank mine.
My parachute did not deploy.
I was kidnapped by a drug cartel.
I just remember everything getting dark. I'm dying.
When we step beyond the edge of what we know.
To open our consciousness to something more than just what's in that Western box.
And we turn.
I clinically died.
The heart stopped beating.
Which I was dead for 11.5 minutes.
My name is Dan Bush. My mission is simple: to find, explore, and share these stories.
I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor.
You're strongest when you're the most vulnerable.
To remind us what it means to be alive.
Not just that I was the guy that cut his arm off, but I'm the guy who was smiling when he cut his arm off.
Alive Again, a podcast about the fragility of life, the strength of the human spirit, and what it means to truly live. Listen to Alive Again on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
Do you think astronauts fight over elbow room? Probably, because advanced tech doesn't always mean more space. Until now. Introducing the Hyundai Ioniq 9, a 3-row electric SUV with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space.
The all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9. Space in an EV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for more details. EPA estimated range for Ioniq 9 based on fully charged batteries for comparison purpose only. Actual range will vary based on several factors.
All right, we're going to recap today's Strawberry Letter. The subject is being healthy doesn't work for everybody. A woman wrote in, she and her husband have been married for 6 years. She says late last year, she and her husband decided to get in better physical and spiritual shape. He joined church. She supported him 100%. Then they changed their diet. They became pescatarians. So far, he's lost 14 pounds. She's petite. She's never had a problem with her weight, but she does like making healthier food choices. She says, she thinks her husband takes everything too far, though. You know, it's just to the extreme. He stopped wearing his same deodorant. Now he smells badly. He made some homemade salve for his beard, and now he has hair bumps. He doesn't cook with salt anymore, and all of this. She says it's just too much and too far. He uses garlic for everything. If she offers to cook, he stands over the stove and checks and watches everything she does, and and then he doesn't want her to use birth control because they don't want to have children. They both said they don't want children. So if she stopped, and she says he's playing a dangerous game. But again, they've been married for 6 years, and she's still uncomfortable telling him about how he smells and other things. So she's saying, don't get her wrong, being healthy is ideal, but she wants to know, how should she tell him that he stinks? Junior?
You know what, Shirley, Carla, Tommy, these the people that get on my nerves. Mm-hmm. These people who been a Christian 8 hours and try to tell everybody how to live. Mm-hmm. Ever since you got baptized, now we on fish. Ever since you got baptized, now we can't wear deodorant. Ever since you got baptized, I mean everything. I gotta be on birth control. Never looking at your own faults, nothing. Just everything wrong with me. See, this, I can't stand this. This has to stop. You have to go get unbaptized. You was fine. You was fine. Just go unbaptized here. We asked you to follow Jesus, not smell like Jesus. We ain't asking you to do all that.
Wait, what?
What?
We asked you to follow Jesus, not try to smell like Jesus. We ain't asked you to do all that. Follow him.
All right, that's different.
Yeah, because Lord didn't have Old Spice back then. We do. You ain't never heard nobody say, you know what took him out? Old Spice. That killed him right there. That Old Spice got him. You know we ain't never heard? We ain't never heard seasoning, because now you cooking. All that's bland. Ain't nobody ever said Lowry's and onion powder got him. That's where he went wrong. I ain't never heard nobody say it was that last T-bone. Service next Saturday. He out of here. This is too much. I've seen these people all the time. They want to tell you everything that's wrong with you. Now you stand over your wife's shoulder as she cook the way she wants to cook. But see, you think everybody love Mrs. Dash. Don't nobody really want Mrs. Dash. That season ain't got nothing in it.
No salt.
Nothing.
No salt.
Low sodium. Yeah.
Low sodium. But it does nothing for fish.
Yes, it does.
You might well just eat fish. Just cook it. Just take a catfish and throw it in the oven. Just eat it. You'll be able to tell everything about that catfish. Spent 10 years down on the Delta. Yeah, you did. She had 125 catfish she birthed. Yeah, you can find everything. Cholesterol was high. Because you tasted everything wrong with this fish. You ain't seasoned nothing. don't make no sense. I can't stand these people. You want to tell me how to live and all. Don't work. Don't nobody care nothing about this. Man, what she should do is take that deodorant that he wear and then just get a bottle of Old Spice, take the top off of that and put on the one that way you'll know. Ain't nobody said the aluminum in Old Spice killed me. Ain't nobody ever died from being fresh. I've not heard one service. I've not heard one cause of death because somebody bathed. I've never heard that. How'd he die? Taking a bath?
Right,
Service Nick said. Can't believe he bathed himself to death. I've never heard that. Can't believe he had hot water and a bubble bath and he took him out.
He gone.
This don't make no sense to live like this.
No, it doesn't.
None whatsoever.
Yeah. But why is she still uncomfortable after 6 years talking to her husband?
You gotta talk to her.
What is that a problem? Why is that a problem?
He just selfish because he been a Christian 8 hours.
He doing he brand new. He real.
Yeah, he brand new. You got the same thing on Bishop Alma wearing. You wearing the same garment? You sitting out here with us, but you look like you belong up there. You can't. You been a Christian 8 hours. This don't make no sense. Nah.
Yeah.
You ain't got to change.
What about the homemade salve he made?
Eat a piece of meat in front of him. Eat a pork chop in front of him. Watch him lose it. That's what you do. Go ahead.
What about the homemade salve he made instead of using his skincare regimen? What about that?
Once again, I've not heard anybody die from Noxzema. I have not heard that.
I love Noxzema.
I have not.
I used to love Noxzema.
Oh my gosh. He was rubbing his face, then he fell to the floor. Service next said it. That has not happened.
Boy, you
no. Post your comments on today's Strawberry Letter.
I put that on this morning.
And Steve Harvey FM on Instagram and on Facebook. And check out the Strawberry Letter podcast on the free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. You can download it today.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You know who it is, Brandon Kyle Goodman. But this Pride Month, call me Messy Mother. On my podcast, Tell Me Something Messy, I'm diving into all the juicy stories and sizzling hot tea that'll make you want to live your life liberated and free. Nothing is off the table for our messy kikis. Plus, I'll be joined by star-studded guests like T.S. Madison and dragging messy stories out of guests like the one and only Katya. Ooh, I can't wait to get messy with you. Listen to Tell Me Something Messy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Show me how good it can get today, God, and show the rest of the world what we already know. It can't get no better than being hella black, hella queer, and hella Christian. My name is Joseph Reeves. I am the creator and host of Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian, a fully black, fully queer, fully human, fully divine podcast from iHeartMedia. To Hella Black, Hella Queer, Hella Christian on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Why is a soap opera western like Yellowstone so wildly successful? The American West with Dan Flores is the latest show from the Meat Eater Podcast Network. So join me starting Tuesday, May 6th, where we'll delve into stories of the West and come to understand how it helps inform the ways in which we experience the region today.
Listen to The American West with Dan Flores on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The OGs of Uncensored Motherhood are back and badder than ever.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Mila.
And we're the hosts of the Good Moms Bad Choices podcast, brought to you by the Black Effect Podcast Network every Wednesday.
Yeah, we're moms, but not your mommy.
Historically, men talk too much.
And women have quietly listened.
And all that stops here.
If you like witty women, then this is your tribe. Listen to the Good Moms Bad Choices podcast
every Wednesday
on the Black Effect Podcast Network, the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you go to find your podcast.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is coming back to Las Vegas. September 19th and 20th.
On your feet!
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bryan Adams, Ed Sheeran, Fade, Glorilla, Jelly Roll, Sean Fogerty, Lil Wayne, LL Cool J, Mariah Carey, Maroon 5, Sammy Hagar, Tate McRae, The Offspring, Tim McGraw. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today. AXS.com.
This is an iHeart podcast.